Hey, what is up mortals, Tim here. And before we get into today's video, there's something I want to let you all know. We have a merch store, folks! Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if this video hits 300 likes by the end of the week, we will continue this what if. Thirdly, if you didn't know, only 41.3% of you guys are subscribed to us. So please, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the story. Himiko laid eyes on the enormous building in front of her. UA High. She sprinted to her class in excitement. Uraraka was scheduled to be in the same class as Toga. She confidently slid the door open to the classroom, only to be greeted by a colorful cast of characters. Almost every student was sitting quietly. There was, however, one familiar face in the crowd sitting like a delinquent. It was that boy from the entrance exam. He had the highest score and a lively personality. Everyone watched as the door slid open through curiosity. The boy was the last person who saw Toga's face and lit up with phenomenal fury. "You!" the wrathful loudmouth shouted. "You're the one who stole my damn kill, you bastard!" His yelling could be heard from across Japan at this point.
It's 8:15, can you give it a rest? No one needs to hear your whining this early,
Himiko said as she playfully poked at this boy's temper, almost as if she was feeding his flames with her firewood. The class was entertained with the commotion, as if they were watching a film at a cinema. A tall student with glasses and weirdly shaped eyebrows ran at them swiftly. "You two need to quiet down and behave. This institution does not need such disturbance at this hour." His hand started to wave up and down as he commanded the two of them to prevent any more social damage. The door slid open again when a friendly, messy-haired boy entered the room as he watched the chaos of the classroom continue. Bakugo stopped his barking as soon as he walked in. Toga moved her eyes to what that yelling mongrel was staring at.
Why are you staring at him like that? Is he your boyfriend?
The feisty teenager reacted by shouting again. Ida glanced over to the one kid at the entrance exam who created an incredible display of power. "Good morning, my name is Tenya Ida," he announced while he marched over to the messy-haired student. That kid looked familiar. He was the one guy she passed by while he spoke to Uraraka. Himiko did not understand why he got all the attention. She hated to admit it, but Bakugo should be getting some praise due to his performance. All of that did not matter once another familiar face popped in behind the freckle-faced boy. Her face lit up like a Christmas tree when her best friend showed up. The morning was saved.
Uraraka!
Toga hollered from the other side of the room.
I'm glad you made it, Himiko.
Uraraka then noticed who was in front of her and gave a warm smile.
Hey, I recognize that messed up hair, Falling Boy.
Himiko's ears perked up when she heard Uraraka say, "Falling Boy." That's the guy who saved her best friend. Although he doesn't look like much, he did end up scoring some points in the exam, and also Uraraka apparently. The interaction continued with small exchanges of smiles and warm gestures. However, somehow the room began to tense up with insane pressure. Something dark and sinister was occurring, like an evil sealed off from the face of the world was unleashed by the devil himself. "If you're just here to make friends, then you can pack up your stuff now." The room was silent, and an ominous presence came from the sleeping bag on the floor. Himiko did not notice the sleeping bag when entering the classroom, almost as if it popped into existence. "Welcome to UA's Hero Course." He unzipped the top half of his sleeping bag and emptied the juice box with one sip, an astonishing feat for sure. "It took 22 seconds before you all shut up. That isn't going to work. Time is precious. Rational students would understand that." After the chilling introduction, the homeroom teacher gave everyone a seat. He introduced himself as Shota Aizawa. The students received their instructions on how to proceed the rest of the time in class. They were instructed to leave the classroom and change into their official UA gym suits. Everyone was to meet outside at the PE grounds. Himiko tugged at the collar of her jumpsuit, feeling uneasy with how baggy the outfit was. She was the 6th person to arrive and sighed with boredom.
How long do we have to wait for everyone to show up?
She questioned the punctual classmates. She could hear grumbling from one of the students. "Your voice annoys me. Just shut up and wait," the fair-haired, irritated boy Bakugo hollered. Everyone stared at him with annoyance.
You're no fun.
"We aren't here to have fun. We're here to be heroes." The two classmates locked death glares at each other, while Midoriya chimed in trying to ease the conflict. Hey, Kachan, you shouldn't really start a fight with anyone on the first day, he nervously said to his best friend. Who told you? You can talk to me, Deku, he shouted at his enemy. The rest of the class rallied up, and Mr. Aizawa walked towards them with disearnest and purpose. Everyone, we're gonna be starting the quirk assessment test, so just... Before he could say any more information, what about our orientation? We're going to miss it. If you really want to make the big leagues, we can't waste time on pointless ceremonies. Here at UA, we're not tethered to traditions. That means running my class the way I see fit. Everyone was shocked that they couldn't participate in the orientation. Yet Toga didn't really care. She was excited to skip a boring ritual that everyone had to sit down and listen. All of you had to take standardized tests most of your lives, but you never got to use your quirks in physical exams before. The country is still pretending that we're all created equal by not letting those with the most power excel. It's not rational. Bakugo, you had the most points in the entrance exam. What was the farthest distance throw with a softball in junior high? 67 meters, I think, Bakugo replied. Right. Try doing it with your quirk. Himiko was a little excited to see how far her classmate could throw, but still hoped he tripped over himself. Young Bakugo stepped up to the plate and held the softball firmly in his hands. Surely Himiko wanted to see him fail and make a fool of himself, but she still wanted to see what he's got. He showed the class a devilishly snarky smile. Die! He shouted as his arm ejected the ball to the air, and a colorfully destructive explosion shot out into the air, boosting the speed of the ball. His throw was erratic, wild, and filled with energy. Toga smiled, watching such destruction for a simplistic task. All of you need to know your maximum capabilities. It's the most rational way of figuring out your potential as a pro hero. The score read 705 meters. Everyone became enthusiastic, and Toga was ready to have a nice fun day and see how everyone's quirk worked.
This looks like so much fun!
Everyone agreed with her, but Aizawa was silent. He looked over to Midoriya and then Toga. So, this looks fun, huh? You have 3 years to become a hero. You think it's all gonna be fun and games and playtime. His serious expression turned into a malicious one. Idiots. Today, you will compete in 8 different tasks to gauge your potential. Whoever comes in last will be expelled immediately. Everyone stood in silence while an awkward breeze surrounded the students, except for one. Himiko leapt out with a silent demonstration of glee. This was a gamble of a lifetime. Something to give her fear, for sure, but also motivation to maintain her status as a student. What If Toga Was a Hero Part 2 will be back after this message. Before we get back into our story, I want to let you all know we have a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes over the hard facts of the anime presented. If you are interested in content like that, please go check the description below or click the icon in the top right corner. Now with that out of the way, back to our regularly scheduled program. Though the exams proved quite challenging, Himiko's speed and agility aided her. She and Uraraka supported each other throughout these exams, especially at the ball throw. Uraraka stepped up to the plate and threw the ball with grace and ease, contrasting from Bakugo's display of sheer brute force. Next up, it was Midoriya's turn, and she tilted her head. He didn't do much in the other tests, but Uraraka said he broke 3 limbs to save her life. The boy threw the ball with so much force and ferocity, only for it to land 46 meters away. He yelped in return, hoping that the ball would go further. I erased your quirk. Aizawa's scarf was flowing, and his eyes lit up blood red. The judges for this exam were not rational enough. Someone like you should not enroll in this school. Everyone whispered amongst each other, but Toga stayed her eyes and listened to the conversation. You're not ready. You don't have control over your power. Were you planning to break your bones again, counting on someone to save your useless body? The teacher grabbed Midoriya up close to tell him he's worthless, that he shouldn't become a hero. Everyone witnessing the actions before them said nothing, but waited to see what happened next. I returned your impractical quirk. Now, take your final throw, hurry and get it over with. This shocked Toga. It reminded her of the many times people told her that her quirk was worthless. Deku watched as everyone whispered to themselves, but Toga smiled, mentally reassuring him that he's got what it takes. The boy stepped up to the plate, and his breathing was irregular, but confident. In an instant, he shot the ball into the sky, and the wind around him pushed everyone back a bit. The sheer force of his throw sent the ball into the heavens. He reeled his hand back, exposing his broken finger. Himiko's pupils dilated, and her heart beat faster than its usual rhythm. Blood ran across his fingers, but not much. Only a faint sliver, as his wound was great and bruised. She started to breathe heavily, and her back started to get goosebumps. Himiko had never felt like this for anyone, but just seeing his damaged finger sent her to a wild and fantastical mental space. Her vision started to fade as she was about to faint. Luckily, she picked herself up and played it off as a minor heat stroke. Something about this boy made her feel something akin to passion.
Himiko, are you okay?
Uraraka asked.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just feel tired, that's all.
She felt so embarrassed and snapped out of her trance as quickly as possible. Hey Deku, you bastard! Tell me how you did that or you're dead! Bakugo shouted as he charged towards Midoriya. But in an instant, a murderous intent arose in Himiko in a flash. She ran to Bakugo and snatched his arm with insane force. Get the hell off me!
Don't you touch him.
Her eyes raised to meet his, and her grin looked frightening.
If you so much as hurt him, I'll kill you.
Everyone was confused, but somewhat terrified of the event that had transpired. Her grip was unusually strong, but nothing to boast about. But she was ready to kill. Something had awakened in her that would shatter her reputation in an instant if left unchecked. She let go of him, realizing what she was willing to do, and strands of Aizawa's scarf wrapped around the two, binding them. That's enough. Stand down. It would be wise to avoid making me use my quirks so much. Gives me serious dry eye. An intense stare-off occurred. Bakugo growled, while Himiko silently shot daggers with her eyes. But like a light switch, she smiled and let go of him. The two were separated, but Midoriya ran up to her to thank her. She smiled warmly and acknowledged his thanks. After Test 8, the class grouped over to the leaderboard to see who gets expelled. Himiko gleefully cried out in laughter as she was in 11th place, not a high score, but she passed. Although Midoriya was still in 20th place, she witnessed the disappointment on his face and frowned with empathy. So, I was lying. No one's going home. Aizawa gave off a childish smile, like he pulled off a big prank on his students. That was just a rational deception to make sure you gave it your all in the tests. Everyone was either shocked or relieved that it was just a ploy to do better. Himiko couldn't stop herself from laughing. The looks on everyone's faces were priceless.
Please excuse her. She's a very emotional person.
Ochako tried to play off Toga's rude behavior. That's it. We're done for today. Pick up a syllabus in the classroom, read it over before tomorrow morning. Aizawa, with his usual blank expression, walked away and handed Midoriya a note, but Himiko was still laughing at the unexpected prank. The next couple of hours, Himiko and Uraraka were walking in the courtyard of the campus to pass the free time they had left.
It was kind of scary and cool how you stopped Bakugo from hurting Deku like that.
Uraraka nervously commented on what had happened not too long ago.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I kind of went a bit overboard.
Toga admitted.
I mean, he was gonna hurt him. And luckily enough, I was right there before he could. Well, Mr. Aizawa could have stopped him.
Ochako added.
I just wanted to be heroic.
Himiko felt embarrassed after talking about the situation, and Uraraka giggled. The two noticed Ida and Deku conversing from a distance. They made themselves known by hollering at the two boys, and the four greeted one another. You're the one who stopped Bakugo! And you're Infinity Girl! The two of them grinned at the boys, and Toga internally screamed. She had a feeling that this wasn't going to be the last time that event was going to be brought up.
I'm Toga Himiko. And your name is Deku Midoriya, right?
She asked shyly. Deku? He blurted out in a questioning manner.
Yeah, isn't that what Bakugo called you? During the fitness test?
Ochako questioned. No, it's not your fault. My real name is Izuku Midoriya, but Kacchan calls me Deku to make fun of me. He sheepishly chuckled.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. You know what? I think Deku could be a great hero name. Plus, it's kinda cute.
Ochako saved the conversation in the nick of time. Himiko darted her eyes towards Uraraka when she called his name cute. It was an innocent compliment, but something in her heart felt a bit off, almost like jealousy. It was a weird feeling, and she never felt this way at all. It was all a new experience for her, and she was aware of what she was feeling, but couldn't believe it. The four of them went on to go home for the day. Himiko still had her mind racing when she arrived at her front door. She felt lighter and smiled.
Izuku Midoriya.
And that's our story for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now, there's a few more things I need to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I want to thank the writers of this video, as well as the editors of this video. Their details will be in the description below. If you're a writer, editor, voice actor, or you're just interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description below and hit up the head of one of those departments. We're always looking for members to join us. Now, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button if you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe to us if you want to watch more of this content. So that's it for today's video. But before I go, I want to let everybody know that things are rough right now. Out in the world, it's chaotic, it's scary, but things will get better. Until then, focus on yourselves, take a step back and have a mental health day. Breathe, relax, do some art, write a journal, write a book. Something to take your mind off the world. Something to keep you here for us. Because you know what? You matter. So thank you all for watching. Everybody, take care.